reason you are low on confidence is that you are not living with daily intention. It's simple ways to get yourself more confident quickly. Self-confidence comes when you just take simple actions. And I'm going to give you some examples of that in this video. Number one, you need to jump in to grooming yourself better. Take care of your hair, take care of your makeup, take care of your nails, take care of your physical body better. Take a look after yourself so you look good. Now that might mean some health programs that you need to get into. That might be you need to go back to do some weightlifting. That might mean you need to do some mild cardio, some low intensity cardio. I don't know what it is for you, but I recommend that you start to take care of your body better. This will boost self-confidence faster than anything else in the world. And then take a look at your wardrobe while you're at it. A lot of the times people have come out of the pandemic and we've got lazy. I mean, a number of times I go to the Target and I just see hordes of people walking around in their pajamas. Their hair is all over the place. This is extremely common. People just taking less care of themselves. And when I have a conversation with those same people, can you imagine where their confidence is? It's very, very low. They don't even want to have a conversation with you in public. It's difficult for them to engage. That's the second thing you could do. Now, while we're on the looks piece, I want to make sure you know that social media is not reality. That gives you an opportunity, right, to boost your own confidence. So if you have social profiles, you can modify the look and feel of how you look, how you show up. And I recommend you provide some consistency across those by having a photo that you really love in every single channel. That means when people are checking you out, which happens, by the way, they can see that you look confident, you look well-dressed, you look well-groomed in those places. But look, you can Photoshop that, and that is going to make a difference to how you feel. And make use of those banner tiles as well in social media. That's going to allow you to give you an image to the marketplace that will boost your confidence. Let's keep going as fast as we can. I want you to think positive. You know, Norman Vincent Peale, The Power of Positive Thinking. If you haven't read the book, dive into the book. There's a ton of other books got right here behind me that will also help you with positive thinking. But the fastest way to get into positive thinking is to eliminate your negative thinking. And most of this is rooted in an identity that we're carrying with us based on a past memory of our lives. And I've been guilty of this, and it's led me to some extremely dark places. And on that topic, if you're in a dark place right now and you need help, I don't think that mental health is a taboo topic anymore. I would love for you to go and seek professional help from somebody who knows exactly how to help you. So go and take that action. Don't stay in the dark, ask for help. But eliminating negative thinking comes from reprogramming yourself the moment you jump out of bed. Here's an exercise I do every single day to make sure that I feel positive when my feet hit the floor. So when I'm still lying in bed, one of the things I do with my eyes still closed is ask myself the question, who needs me today? Who is waiting on me? Who can I lead today? Who can I impact their lives today? Who needs me to be on my best game so that I can serve them at the highest level? And I'm doing this with my eyes closed. I'm still in the bed. When I finish that process, I've identified normally 1 to 3 people, and it could be my family, it could be my wife, it could be my son, but it's typically people I'm coaching, people I'm reaching out to, partners. So I'm doing all of those things, personal and professional. Who can I help? Who can I lead today? Be on my A game. But the second thing I'm doing is then thinking about living with grace, operating with more gratitude, receiving that gratitude. When people say thank you to me, I don't brush it off. I say them, thank you. I appreciate you saying that to me. You have to receive gratitude in order for gratitude to work for you, so you can move with more grace. And I'm doing this eyes closed. This is Stephen Covey. Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Read the book. It's actually on the shelf behind me here. One of the things I want you to understand about that is how it programs you to start thinking about other people and how you can influence other people. You can't control them. Don't try and control them, but just thinking about how you might serve them, how you might do something different to advocate for them, to support them, to champion their own cause and reach out to them, send them messages, let them know you're thinking about them. This all happens with my eyes closed, still in the bed. And then I borrow a very simple technique from Mel Robbins. In my eyes closed, I simply count down from 5 to 1, and that triggers my brain. We're about to take action. We're about to be alert. So I simply say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. open my eyes, stand up. And I do some grounding just where I am next to the bed. We have hardwood floors, so I have the ability to ground there. And I just connect with the floor again. Let some blood get into my legs. If I start rushing off before I use the bathroom and everything else we need to do, yawn and, break wind and all that kind of stuff, that's what comes next. But you can program your identity and start eliminating negative thinking by doing this. Because what happens to most people when they wake up is they go, because they're thinking about their to-do list and their memory. And their memory typically isn't serving them. It's giving them the reminders that everything is not great. They're not living to what they want. They're living to what they need. And they're living to the expectations of others. And I was so guilty of that. Living to the expectation of my father, living to the expectation of my family, my friends, my people I hang around with. Not realizing at the time, they don't care about me in the way that I want them to. So I shouldn't think about them anymore, and I shouldn't live to their own expectation. I need to set my own standard, set my own expectation, and live to my standards. And I recommend you do the same. This is going to really have a big difference in the way that you think about your days. And I cannot wait to hear your comments. So drop those comments in below, and I'd love to hear how this impacts you. On this next topic, thinking about how can you get to know yourself? I was kind of talking to you there about the way you think, but I really want you to get to know yourself so you understand how you behave, what actions you take at specific times of day, whether a abrupt conversation with one individual is going to take your whole day and ruin it, and you're going to go, I'm going to wait till tomorrow to bounce back as my best self. When you get to know yourself, you can have quick conversations to just check in with who you are and be ready to handle anything. So you stay centered, you stay calm and composed, but you have to get to know yourself so that you can do anything about your future. Because if you don't know who you are, it's hard for you to improve. This is the place of baselining who you are so you can actually improve. And this will boost your confidence when you know, and it might be okay if you are not feeling good right now and things aren't going well for you. And I've been in these dark places. I just want to remind you, I've been in these dark places where things haven't gone well for me every single day, worried every single day, experiencing with anxiety every single day, depression, which led to suicidal ideation and all kinds of extremely dark places for me to recover from, which took a year or more. And I know that maybe where you are, if you're in that place and you know that it's going to be a journey of getting to know yourself so you can improve yourself. Because when you can improve yourself, this is John Maxwell. I'm reciting some of the comments I've shared with John Maxwell before. When you can know yourself to improve yourself, you can be yourself. And I think this is a vital part of your self-confidence. When you get this right, you can be really in tune with who you are. And when you can be who you are, you can do who you are, and then you can have everything you want. You can create all the wealth in your life that you would possibly want, the freedom that you're looking for, the skills development that you're looking for. It might be that you want to provide some more value. You want to create something, build something. We all enjoy that. This is where confidence comes from. And it's not as complicated as you think. It's actually simple things. It's not easy to do, especially if we're trapped or we're feeling trapped, but it is simple. This next one comes from Ed Milet. I heard this from Ed Milet. I don't even know if this is a quote, but he talks about this often. And I think it helps me when I'm not feeling too good. When I'm feeling helpless, all I remember is, how can I be helpful? How can I help other people when I'm feeling helpless? When I don't know what to do next, when I don't know what the next step is, how can I get to the next place? Well, why don't I just try and go and help somebody else? And this is a lot to do with how I reach out to people and let them know I'm thinking about them. And if they happen to share a problem with me or a challenge with me, I try and help them out. I can think about my clients, I can think about members of my community, and I can send them messages and just become more helpful. I routinely send a video message to every client almost every single week to just tell them I'm thinking about them, to be kind, to be generous, and to just tune them a little bit so they can be themselves. And that's what we're looking for, just to make these small incremental improvements. This is going to change your confidence. Yeah, if you don't want to do video messages to anyone, I'm not saying you should. You can do an audio message. And worst case, you can use what everybody else is using, which is very low level communication standard, is text messaging. The problem that I have with text messaging is most of it's gossip and it's extremely low level and actually leads you back into negativity, complaining and judgment and all kinds of other things. But if you're just having a conversation with somebody in video, it's different when you can actually be kind and be generous and give them your positive vibration. As you go through some of these examples I'm giving to you, you're going to start to notice there's a set of behaviors, a set of standards that you want to live to. I would recommend that you take out a pen and paper. And if you want to type this, you can type this, but get to the point where you can know your principles, know what your grounding principles are, your founding principles, the things that you will not budge on, your own integrity. So you can live with that enthusiasm and that energy and that vibrancy, and you can set the boundary to say to other people, not today. I'm just going to say no to this. And I have this conversation all the time because lots of people are out there selling me services unsolicited. And if it's not on my mission, I don't really want to pay attention to them because they're taking time, but they're taking something more valuable, attention. So as you think about your principles, maybe time and attention is one of your principles, that you're going to start to guard it better, that you'll stand the guard at your mind, but you'll also stand guard of people who are trying to get into your life, to take your time away from you, for you to do things on their behalf, to be transactional with you without any return. You know that feeling? Or to take your time and attention away so your attention is focused somewhere else. Know your principles, write them down. You should have a bare minimum of 10. I've got some rules of engagement here that I have with my wife. You could probably pause the video and see some of these things. But these are the things that we do in our life. And I'll read these to you. Rules of engagement: be present. Family first. It's our number one thing. Be present with each other. When we're with each other, it's family first. Number 2, no phones for 1 hour around meal times. That means the phones don't come to the table. That means before mealtime, there's no phone. We're playing with each other. We're talking to each other. We're engaging. After mealtime, we're playing with each other. We're engaging. We're having conversation. We're talking about what we want, not what we need. Support each other's work time. So when we are work time, support the other person in winning. And for Julie and I, we talk on a Sunday and have a planning session about how do we end up this week winning? What has to happen before Friday so you win and I win? And if you have a partner and you're lucky and fortunate enough to have a partner in your life, have this conversation every Sunday. You don't have to get a pen and paper out and write this down on a chart. You just need to have a conversation. Hey, honey, how do I help you win this week? How can we get to Friday night to get into our weekend and have a win? And it might not be Friday for you. Maybe you work Saturdays. How can we get to Saturday night and know that we just put in a solid week and we committed to the things we said we were going to, and we acted with courage and we took massive action and we focused and obsessed about the things that we want and that were important to us, and we did that. This is what needs to go on. So this is kind of in my list here. I'm going to stop here. I'm not going to go through the whole list for you. Increase our say-do ratio. And I got this from Simon, one of my coaches. I worked with Simon for a little while. Helped me a lot with suicidal ideation and depression. So I talked to you about those topics. And I think this is about integrity, that when you think something, take action. When you say something, take action on that. Really get your say and do ratio close so your integrity is maxed. Because I'll tell you, if you're low on confidence, confide means with trust. You know, from where the etymology of that word, where it came from, with trust. And if you cannot trust yourself to do anything because you didn't take the action and you didn't do what you said you were going to do, or you didn't even do what you thought you were going to do, that will erode your confidence over time. And I want to make sure you understand that key thing, that this up is all about moving with trust. And if you can't trust yourself, don't be surprised if you haven't got the results that you want, because your little voice keeps telling you you're never going to do that. A couple of things about physical body language. One of the things that I'm doing in this video is actually talking quite quickly. But when I'm with clients or when I'm with members of my community or I'm talking to family and friends, I like to slow it down a little bit so that we can be calm and composed and measured in our communication. And I recommend you articulate things clearly to people that way too. So you can improve your confidence by slowing down your speech. I'm confident now and I'm sharing information with you, but I want to let you know, speaking slowly can change the level of trust that you have in yourself because you're finding the right words to say at the right time. Now, also on that topic, you don't need to find the right words for the right person. They're always listening. But sometimes you do need to find the right words for the wrong person who isn't going to listen. So you've got to pick carefully. I use words with emotion. Find words that emotionally charge people and move them and speak slowly. And I know that you'll become instantly more confident. Now, another thing on body language, which I love, is Marie, one of my friends, Marie, taught me about a triangle, imaginary triangle from my shoulders to the top of my head, to sit with composure, to stand tall, to walk tall, to stand tall or walk taller than you already are. Actually, the big difference, if you just tuck your chin back a little bit, it straightens out your spine and you actually feel taller. You can puff your chest out a little bit more and stride a little bit more. This is going to change the way your confidence feels as you move around your day. Rather than chin on chest, shoulders, this is making a big difference. So physiology, you'll hear this from Tony Robbins all the time. Physiology first. Let's keep going. I got a ton of stuff in here. So the next one is skills. Identify the skills you need to get you where you want to go. Because I'm sure that one of the reasons that you're low on confidence right now could be something to do with something you need to do in your job, but you're not as competent as maybe somebody you can see who's doing it at a better standard. That doesn't mean to say they're greater or better than you. It just means their skill development is more advanced. You think about anything out there, there's some things that we, genetically we might never be able to do. We might ever be LeBron James and be able to slam dunk and take off on the free throw line and do all that. But there are some things that you can do and only you can do that skill development is going to get you the best in the world at. So I recommend, to improve confidence, that you take a look at the skills you want and start to take deliberate action, or maybe you call that habits, to develop that. If you think about mastery and skill mastery, if you can do those two things together, create those habits of actually doing the thing that you want to learn the skill of, and pairing that with deliberate practice, that's going to be an amazing thing for you. Creating that habit, pair it with deliberate practice, so you've got some ideas about when are you going to do this, how many reps are you going to do. You just think about going to the gym. It's very easy to break this down. If you want to lift more bench, then you can do it on your own for a little while, increasing the weight, but after a while you'll need a coach who will make minor adjustments to your skills to be able to help you lift more weight. Let's keep going. I missed out one thing on physiology. I want to just drop back to that, and that is smile. I do smile talking on my videos, so I try and smile as much as I can as I'm communicating to you. Hopefully you feel that energy and that might make you smile a little bit. I don't take too many jokes here. I'm not here doing stand-up comedy, but I want you to know that smiling is going to make a difference. So just think about that. Are you smiling? How are you showing up in the world? And remember, I'm okay. I understand how it feels to be in a dark place, but you don't have to be there forever. It will always be temporary, as long as you choose that. But if you choose to stay there, that is different. And I would love for you to seek the help you need. Last thing I'm going to say to you before we wrap this one up is just to get yourself a small goal. Just work on something small. Set yourself the task and just identify, I'm going to do this one thing, but make it small. Most people have these big ideas about maybe writing a book or standing on stage or putting 1,000 people in the room to talk to, or they might want to sell a ton of online courses, or they might want to get promoted to vice president or a C-suite executive job, or they might need to move companies, or they want to move industries, and these things are big and it starts to overwhelm them. Just make your goal a little bit smaller. Write it down and get that thing done. A small thing. Now, it could just be writing a report. It could be just sending an email to somebody you need to reach out to. It could be something that you've been delaying because you're worried about the response. You're fearing that rejection. Take the small thing. Work on the small goal, get it done. Here's a bonus item for you. Are you an over browser? Do you open up your browser window and there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of tabs? It's likely that if you're that person, your desk is also pretty busy. Meaning there's lots of things all over your desk, books and papers and pens and all kinds of other things. If you hear me, yeah, I know what that's like. And I oscillate between the two. Sometimes when I'm really busy, I'll have papers and desk and I'll have open stuff. But if I'm low on confidence, I know I need to focus. So what I would advise you to do is to shut down those browser windows, clear your desk away, tidy your office space, wherever it is that you work, and just clean things up. So it's much more clear for you to focus on the things that you know you need to be doing for the things that you want. So this is my bonus item. Keep a clear desk policy and your confidence will soar.